Hi, Simon here. Simple Life Circle walk around Athorne, Shepherd's Well and Waldershare. We're going to take you on our route. You start at the roundabout in Athorne and walk down Flats Court Lane. So we're going to find out what Flats Court Lane means and we'll tell you in the show. Follow the path right to the very end. Thank you.
Oh, hello. Once you come down Flats Court Lane, you come to a bit of a junction. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 paths to go down. What you want to do, you want to take the left turn by Grimsdale Barn.
Here we have an interesting change of land use. If you look to my left, you can see we've got a field. It's probably a hay crop at the moment and it will be cut next year. But if we look to my right, this is quite clearly left as meadow year round. At the moment it's mainly grasses with longer grasses, sedges and vetches, and if you look, there's a clear line running along the edge here between planted crops and meadow. Thank you.
Still out on the same path as we were when we last checked in, but check out the view behind me.
So when you reach the road, just go straight across. You'll see the gate in front of you and head diagonally across the field towards Shepherd's Well. Thank you.
Once you come across the road and you come up the hill, there's a little sign that just says please keep your dogs on the lead because the animal's grazing. So be nice, be courteous and please do it yourself.
So we're at the back of Shepherd's Well. We thought it'd be a fantastic way to stop and just give you a little bit of a panoramic of the view. And of course the sky on a day like today as well. There you go.
So you just walked along the back of the houses along Shepherd's Well, along this path here, and we're just about to drop down towards the barns you can see on the left, avoiding the kissing gate, which we'll just show you in a second. Now this is the kissing gate we were just talking about. So why it's called a kissing gate? Well, we're going to tell you in the show.
Okay, so we're on the footpath from Shepherd's Well to Watershere. Behind me is a very big, mature hedgerow. Hedgerows originally were a means of separating land between different owners. That changed when we had the agricultural revolution in the 18th century. Nowadays, they're very, very valuable tracts of land for wildlife. Otherwise, we've got these big fields either side of us which are kind of like a desert for so many of our wildlife. We've got nowhere to live, they've got no food. So they actually provide almost traffic ways across our countryside. And it's really important that we try and hang on to them because otherwise we're just going to end up with these large deserts and that kind of typical hedgerow bound English country landscape will be gone. And a lot of the wildlife will die out with it, which would be absolutely criminal. But you can actually tell roughly how old a hedgerow is by the number of species of shrubs and perennials that are in it. And there is one on the Betshanger estate which has been dated back to Saxon times. So that's a hedgerow that's over 1,000 years old. Absolutely unreal. So when you see a hedgerow, just give a thought for everything that it represents, being English, for our wildlife, for our countryside, and for our history. How amazing is that?
Oh, now, along the walk, you'll see all these raised areas. Now, these raised areas were used for a railway to take the coal from Tilmerston coal mine, or Tilmerston colliery, along to Shepherd's Well, where it would then be transported to wherever it needed to be. Now, the trains had to be put on level ground. So they would raise the ground so it was level because trains don't really like hills. Thank you. Come on then. Scruff, come on. Just come through the kissing gate There is livestock in the field, so again, dog leads, please use them. But this is also part of North Downs Way. And from here, you want to go through that gate, just over there.
So, you have to take our word for it, but on the top of that post is a big female buzzard. She just flew right across us, and it's typical with wildlife. We didn't have time to get our camera out before she was gone. But there you are, buzzards in the Kent countryside. Amazing.
So, just come along the walk, and we found this willow tree which has come down at some point during high winds. But the tree itself, the bark, really solid, and it's rough, and in some places it's quite sharp. But you can see as well, we think this tree was probably hit by lightning at some point, because it's all burnt out on the inside like someone's had a fire in it. And the root ball itself is really small for how big the tree actually is. And we don't actually know how it came down, but it's still brilliant to see something like this out in the wild. And we never knew this was here. We've just seen it on the walk. Cheers.
At the end of the field, you come to a road. Turn right up to the crossroads. So, go over the road at the crossroads and you'll see a footpath sign on the left. Take that path through the small coppice and follow it all the way to the Watershere estate. Come on. Bruno, come on. Come on, you two. Can you see, centre screen on a post, there's a green woodpecker. Just flew in and just flew away. Notice that undulating flight, which is quite characteristic of birds that size and woodpeckers. There you go.
Now, this part of the walk, you walk through the Waldershare Park estate, and behind me you can see the manor house. Now, the manor house is still owned by the Earl of Guildford. It was actually bought by the first Earl of Guildford in the 18th century. Now, the house itself actually burst out in flames during 1913. It was then refurbished and turned into flats and is now owned by multiple people.
So, just after you reach the car park in the corner of Watershere Estate, and we take a left turn off the road towards the old kitchen gardens. 50 yards later, take another left turn and we're going to head back towards Athorne.
Now, we're just about to leave the Waldershere estate. We're coming through the gate and we're just about to head back down to Athorne. And you can see it just behind me. You get to this junction, don't take the path on the right, back into the main road, take the path forward and go back up towards the roundabout. And the walk brings you back out into Athorne, just by the roundabout, which is to your left. We really hope you've enjoyed this walk. If you want to go out on it and take the route with you, that would be fantastic. If you'd like to come back and tell us about it, either on a show or on the Simple Life Facebook page, that would be fantastic. We'll see you soon. That's Simon and Ross. Thank you.
Never let you go.